Reading the cringe-worthy tabloid headlines on gaming and its effects on those who so freely choose to engage in it, you'd be forgiven for thinking that the human species was on the verge of some sort of gaming-induced apocalypse. Yeah. According to the media, gaming is bringing human civilization to its knees. The mainstream media has blamed gaming for psychosis, the mental health crisis affecting young people, murder, and well, just about everything that's wrong with the world right now. In my very humble opinion, however, the kids playing video games are not insane. Far from it. The only thing that's truly insane are, well, the universities that have given those journalists journalism degrees. Imagine studying 4 years at college to write headlines like that. Seriously though, the media is insane. And this is why I've decided to take it upon myself, like the hero I so often want to be, to dispel all the tabloid nonsense and media sensationalism about gaming and its effects on the 2 billion people who game, using nothing but good old-fashioned science. My name is Hesham Mashhur and I'm a University of Cambridge graduate and student doctor, and this is my YouTube channel, Doctor Tell Me Why, where I get to talk about anything I want, so long as it's medicine related, of course. And today I'll explain how gaming improves mental health, how it can lead to better brain function, and at the very end of the video I'll also touch on gaming addiction, so make sure you stick around for that. So let's get the party started. But before we can have our little science party, I have to apologetically ask you to subscribe if you want to see more content like this on your YouTube page. My vision for this YouTube channel is to make medicine and science as fun and as accessible as possible. And an unintended side effect of that is you having to put up with my very mediocre humor. So humor me and subscribe? No pun intended. So why exactly are the mainstream media and the Karens so upset? Well, the media seems to have arrived at this wonderful idea that people who game are more likely to suffer from mental health issues like depression and anxiety, and that therefore gaming must be the cause of these mental health issues. But this is one of the most fundamental errors in science, and it reveals just how little the media knows and cares about science. Why, I hear you ask? Because correlation should never imply causation. But let me elaborate with an example. When the weather is hot, sunny, and perfectly splendid, you're more likely to go out there and buy yourself an ice cream. You're also more likely to get sunburned. It's the weather that's making you crave that ice cream, and it's also the weather that's roasting your skin. Please apply some sunscreen, you'll thank me in about 30 years. The weather is causing both events to happen at the same time. You'd be very silly though to assume that just because two things happen to happen together that one causes the other. In other words, the ice cream is not the reason why you got sunburned. Shocker, I know. Now back on topic. While it's definitely true that those who game regularly are more at risk for depression and anxiety, the most recent research actually suggests that the more those gamers game, the better their mental health gets, by a substantial and statistically significant amount. And one older study elegantly showed that adolescents who played video games moderately at an average of 6 hours a week had better mental health than their peers who did not game at all. And this should not come as a complete surprise, of course. Gaming can be immensely rewarding and gives people a sense of purpose, identity, and belonging. Yes, it's escapism, but escapism can be immensely comforting and also a wonderful avenue for gamers to relax, cope, and socialize, and express themselves in ways they can't really do in the real, grim world that we all live in today. So while gaming and mental health issues are definitely correlated, meaning that they happen to happen together, it's not because one causes the other, but rather because they are caused by the same underlying force. And this underlying force is probably a combination of genetics, psychological, and social factors. Things happening inside and outside of you. And the best available research we have right now seems to indicate that gaming helps to alleviate these mental health issues, proving to be a suitable coping mechanism. A bit like mindfulness, yoga, or growing mango trees if you're me. Follow me, by the way, to keep up with my mango trees. It's better than keeping up with the Kardashians. Guaranteed entertainment right there. Quality content. Most of us have pretty stressful lives, and we cope with our stressful lives in a variety of different ways. And we need to start seeing gaming as a legitimate coping method because it's actually better than most. Here's why. Scientists now believe gaming to be beneficial for cognitive function, improving things like attention, memory, and reaction time. So much that it's been suggested time and time again that video games may be the best available tool for older people like your grandparents to preserve and improve their cognitive skills and ability. And younger people, well, they have much to gain too. In fact, scientists were able to demonstrate that playing video games resulted in structural changes in the brain. One study found that gamers who played puzzle and logic-based games had a significantly larger hippocampus than people who did not. The hippocampus is known to play an important role in navigation and in spatial memory. Those gamers went on to score higher in tests that specifically tested those areas. And first-person shooter video games? Well, apparently they can have beneficial effects on attention, helping to improve concentration and focus in the long run. These beneficial effects on the brain are observed as early as 16 hours into training, which makes them super interesting to researchers as they appear to be attainable by most people. This is an area of science that still needs a lot of research. However, it's become increasingly clear that playing video games can definitely be good for your brain health, and that different video games can enhance your brain in many different and wonderful ways. Finally, I think it's important to touch on internet gaming disorder, which appears to be a pathological state whereby gaming takes over someone's entire life, getting in the way of your relationships with people and your life commitments. Very similar to an addiction complex. But the number of hours played doesn't actually predict whether someone is addicted to playing video games or not. Pro gamers typically spend upwards of 10 hours each day playing video games, but they are still able to lead healthy, balanced, and productive lives, because they typically have a well-rounded support system in place. People who become latched onto video games typically don't have this support system in place, and will typically be vulnerable to a variety of psychosocial factors, rendering them vulnerable to gaming addiction, which is just one more reason to support the people in your life. I hope you guys enjoyed this video today and found it informative. I hope it changes your life in some meaningful way, but if it doesn't, that's absolutely fine. I hope that at the very least it gave you something to think about, or something to talk about to your friends the next time you happen to see them when you're out and about. Give this video a thumbs up if you happen to like this video so that YouTube can begin recommending this video to more people. And if you're new here, you should subscribe if you want to see more great content, more great awesome content like this. Thank you guys, love you all to bits, and see you all next Saturday.